Hi, I'm Adam Wilk from Rathbone Group, and today we're going to talk about contributory negligence. As you know, contributory negligence is a doctrine that bars the plaintiff from recovery if that party commits any negligence, no matter how small that amount may be. Many times when a defense of contributory negligence is raised, the plaintiff throws up his arms and doesn't go forward. However, in this video, we hope to show you that just because contributory negligence is raised doesn't mean that's the end of your case. The first thing we do is look at the plaintiff. If the plaintiff is under 7 years old, they cannot commit contributory negligence. If they're between the age of 7 and 14 years old, there's a presumption that they cannot commit contributory negligence. However, that presumption can be overcome if the defendant can prove that they are of sufficient capacity. This rule is known as the rule of sevens. The second thing you can look at when you're looking at the plaintiff is whether they have any cognitive impairment. For example, if the plaintiff has Alzheimer's, you don't judge his actions as you would a person without Alzheimer's. You would judge him as a person with Alzheimer's. So it's a lesser burden on the plaintiff. Next thing we can look at to overcome a defense of contributory negligence would be the conduct of the plaintiff. A lot of situations, a defendant will claim that the plaintiff violated a statute, and the violation may have absolutely nothing to do with the accident. For example, if a plaintiff was 5 miles over the speed limit, that is a violation of a statute. However, unless the defendant can show that that 5 miles an hour contributed to the accident, which is a very large burden, contributory negligence will not be a defense. Another defense that can be raised is the plaintiff's actions in a sudden emergency. Just like with the Alzheimer's example, if the plaintiff is faced with a sudden emergency, his negligence will be judged based on the fact of that emergency, not if the emergency didn't exist. The last defenses we're going to look at represent the conduct of the defendant. If the defendant commits an intentional tort, the plaintiff cannot be found to have committed contributory negligence. Similarly, if the defendant commits a wanton or willful act, like, for example, speeding over 25 miles an hour or driving drunk, plaintiff's contributory negligence will not be considered. The last doctrine we're going to discuss today is the last clear chance doctrine, which is the most common doctrine that plaintiffs use to try to overcome a defense of contributory negligence. The last clear chance doctrine stands for the proposition that when a plaintiff's in peril and the defendant knew or should have known that he was in such peril and had the last chance to avoid the accident, a contributory negligence defense will not suffice. A couple of examples of this would be if a plaintiff is crossing outside of a crosswalk. And let's give you the example that he's 90% through the crosswalk. In that type of case, a last clear chance would apply because the defendant obviously had the last clear chance to prevent the accident. But assuming the plaintiff was only 10% through the crosswalk, the last clear chance may not apply. Another example would be, let's say the plaintiff stopped short and was struck in the rear by the defendant. If the plaintiff can prove that the defendant had sufficient time to stop and didn't, the defense of last clear chance would overcome the contributory negligence claim. That's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Adam Wilk of Rathbone Group, and that's the long and the tort of it.